Hey everyone, it's David with Preps Life. This video today is going to be a little bit different than what I normally make, just because there's a lot going on right now in society, and the topic will be politics. I don't really like making political videos, just because politics, kind of like religion, I suppose, it's very divisive. It can really get people emotional, not thinking right, and I just don't like discussing it most of the time. But just a lot of things I'm seeing from people in the chat, and other things that I've been hearing from family members about what's going on with Trump, with what happened with the Capitol incident. It seems with, and I want to tread lightly with some of this just because I don't want to give YouTube any keywords to try to come after me or the channel, although I'm so small that it may not matter. But yeah, basically, as of late, there's been a lot of talk of, since Trump didn't get his way with the election, that there are other methods that he could use to try to stay in power. And I wanted to discuss what has been going around. A lot of rumors going around, very conspiracy related. I wanted to discuss my top reasons why Trump would not enact the Insurrection Act. And the Insurrection Act is basically a law that says in case of foreign election interference, or foreign interference in an American election, the president can have powers to take over the military and basically declare martial law in certain areas. Not necessarily the whole country, but certain areas if he so desired, and he would be able to remain in power. And that's kind of the rumor that's going around. But yeah, I'm just seeing so many people on my Facebook, either people thinking those people are crazy or people that think it's so real. I mean, it's just kind of nuts right now. It's like, quick, stock up on food, get gas for your vehicle. Take your money out of the bank. No, don't do that. But I'll explain why I think Trump has not enacted the Insurrection Act. First, Trump's appearances don't coincide with a man who is literally on the brink of plunging America into what is basically a second civil war. He's been in the White House and more recently took a trip to Texas to sign a plaque on his border wall that was constructed during his term that he's very proud of. Why would he go down there and do all of that if he was about to have the military come in and take over for him? I don't think so. Second, and this one's a very telltale sign to me. Sure, you have Twitter, you have some of those apps like Parler, which are down, or Gab, or any of those conservative outlets, especially those. And of course, your Facebook friends, going on and on about the rumors of the Insurrection Act and what it entails. But what I look at are news media, and I know a lot of news media is slanted for ratings and their own political agenda. It's that way for both sides. They pander to their base for the dollar. That's what it's about. But if you go on various conservative news outlets, you'll see no mention of an Insurrection Act, other than a definition maybe. And especially some that are more conservative, like Blaze or the Gateway Pundit. There's no mention of that. There's 0 articles about it. Heck, even the renowned conspiracy theorist Alex Jones in InfoWars has nothing about it. None of them are talking about that, about the Insurrection Act. Don't you think they would talk about it because it gets them attention? Especially Alex Jones. I mean, come on. Number 3, this is kind of my opinion, just seeing Trump over time. Trump to me is a dove. I know a lot of people view him to be more hawkish, which, I mean, you can look at North Korea and what happened there. It's kind of dovish. There was a lot of talk. Many in the world would end up thinking that Trump would take office and start wars. Didn't happen. And really, he's a lot of talk in that respect, and not much bite. And that's another reason I think that it's not going to happen. He's too dovish for that to happen. Which to me is a good thing. We don't want to jump into anything crazy. You know, we don't want to sacrifice lives. That's crazy. Number 4, this is going to sound bad to some on the conservative side. I don't think Trump has the mettle to do it, in my opinion. Going off of the previous concept and reason I just described, I really don't think he has it within him to round up all those who disagree with him, with the military. I just don't think that is him. He just, I don't know. It's that whole dovishness that I feel that he has. Doesn't have the mettle. Number 5, Trump is too off the cuff. For the most part, he does things on the fly. Many times in his presidency, he's done things like that on the whim. And it's helped him in a number of occasions. But yeah, it's definitely hurt him, probably more than it's helped him. And really, I really doubt that he's orchestrated this elaborate plan to enact the Insurrection Act and deploy military all over the U.S. and major metropolitan areas to clash or to basically prevent significant riots and civil unrest that would happen. And all the while, he would have to be proving why he's doing that to the military for them to have his back. So that's the 5th reason why I think it's the Insurrection Act is not happening. Number 6, most of this Insurrection Act speculation seems to have started with some person, YouTuber, Twitter person. I don't know where it originally came from, but I just know it feels like it started somewhere and it started snowballing, and it went to like, oh, this guy, you know, he's a former military, maybe he has some buddies, and they heard from someone else that, okay, that isn't really what it was or something. Military buildup in DC, okay. That's supposedly just for the inauguration. Excuse me. And then you have other people like pastors and such getting on YouTube or Facebook Live and quoting the Bible and saying that this is the righteous thing and what's going to happen. And they cite sources that cited sources that cited sources. That is what I fully believe happened. I really think it started with some crazy Q personality, conspiracy theorist in their basement. Or maybe it's some deep state operative that decided to throw some fake type of information out there. I know that's a conspiracy in and of itself, so don't take much stock in that. Maybe they did that to screw with MAGA supporters. Yeah, I mean, it's just a big cluster that snowballed, and people started spreading the rumor, and it took life from there. Overall, in my opinion, at best, his followers, the MAGA supporters, can expect is, I don't know, a 98% chance that he did not enact the IA. And more than likely, there's a 99.99% chance he did not enact it. But I'll give them 2% as MAGA supporters. Maybe. Lastly, think about this. Would MAGA supporters really want this? I mean, if that were to happen, you're basically looking at a civil war. Or, at best, counter-protesters marching against one another and lots of violence. And the major metropolitan areas would suffer the most from that. You might see cities burning to the ground, or certain cities. It serves no one to really want this kind of situation to happen. This mayhem. Even if there were some debate about the election, it's not worth tearing America apart just to keep things the way they were. I know many in this chat, in the Preps Life chat, will probably disagree with some of what I've said. And I know some others that might be a little more left-leaning will laugh at some of what I'm saying. I mean, I've laughed at some of it. I mean, some of it's entertainment, to be honest. It is. Just because I don't think it's real. But yeah, those are my opinions. Those are the top reasons why I think Trump did not enact the Insurrection Act. And by the way, it has to be enacted. It can't be signed. It was signed in 1807. People say, oh, Trump signed it. No, he didn't. It's just more like a proclamation of some kind. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I would like everyone's opinion on the YouTube comments. Like the video. Join our Preps Life Discord chat. We would really like to have more members there, of course. We're the largest prepping Discord server out there. So feel free to join us and voice your opinion on what's really going on. I'm David, and that's all for my thoughts on this subject.